Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Coco and Daltz. I'm not Daltz.
And I'm not Coco.
And we have an exciting episode for you, like
Oh,
I
exciting.
said.
Exciting.
Because this is our first episode after about a 2-month hiatus.
And people have missed us.
They have. And B, we have our fall movie preview for you.
Excited.
We are extremely happy. So, Daltz, take it away.
So I am very much looking forward to many, many movies.
As am I.
In the fall. So the roster includes Jokers. It's very touted. Or Joker, I should say. Not more than one. Well, there's been a lot of Jokers, so I guess...
that's true. And we're a couple Jokers,
Well,
so
there you go with the witty one. So Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. I'm looking forward to this movie a lot. One of the reasons is because the movies about the villains don't get made a lot. They're usually movies about the heroes and how the heroes overcome. And apparently this is a very big statement around mental illness and society's approach to people with mental illness. So it's more of a statement movie than you would think for what's being touted as a villain movie. So I'm looking forward to that. Joaquin Phoenix's performance in this apparently is fantastic. It's not going to be anything like Heath Ledger's, I imagine, but it'll be good.
When is that coming out?
So I knew you were going to ask me that.
That's why you have it called up right here?
That's why I have it called up right here. And it's going to be... why don't you talk while I look up when it's coming?
So, I mean, I'll go see it with you. Sure. I'm not...
Oh, you're not going to go... You're not stoked about it, I mean?
I'm not really stoked about it. It just seems like we got enough, like, white guys perpetuating terrorism in the real world right now. You know, like, do I really need to see a movie about how some white guy is all angry that his grip on power, like white guy's grip on power, is loosening, and so it turns him into a terrorist? Like,
but to me, it's more like losing his grip on reality. Yeah. That's where I think he's going, because he apparently lives with his mother, and there's he lost his job or whatever. There's like a whole series of events that have consequences that lead him down this path. Now, everybody has challenges in life, and how you respond to those challenges is what makes you...
As they said in the Democratic debate last night, tell us about your resilience.
Right. It makes you resilient.
Yeah.
How you bounce back from the challenges of life. That, I think a lot of people will buy into this premise that, oh yeah, this person has really gotten some challenges in their life, and I've had challenges in my life, so they'll be able to identify. I don't think people will identify with the Joker necessarily, but certain parts of this. The movie's coming out October 4th, by the way. And it's Todd Phillips, who apparently in this, as the director, he got a lot of inspiration from Taxi Driver.
Oh, goodness.
So that will give you an indication of where this movie is going. So I'm looking forward to that one, because it sounds like it's an out-of-the-box kind of presentation around this particular genre. So it's a superhero type movie, and yet the supervillain is the focus of the story. So we don't see a lot of those kinds of things. So I'm interested in this.
So it's kind of like we did our review of American Crime Story, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, which ended up being a 10-episode character study on Andrew Cunanan, who actually killed Gianni Versace. So this is kind of sounds like what it's like. Yeah,
it's more about the villain than it is about Batman.
So I'll go see it with you, but if you weren't going to go see it, I probably wouldn't go see it. But Joaquin Phoenix is good and everything, so.
It got the reviews that I read after it debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Which we're going to try to get media credentials to next year, people.
We are totally there, film crew and everything like that. Because we got to eat in Toronto, because the restaurants there are fantastic. That's the only reason we really want to go. And because where we live doesn't have anything interesting to eat.
No.
So other than what we make in the kitchen, I should say.
That's true.
The reviews that I read were not off the charts fantastic. Some people were saying Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. They were surprised that the guy who had done the Hangover movies had made such a dark superhero, super villain kind of movie. So there was a little bit of that. So this is intriguing to me. It's like, well, how this is going to be a dark movie, and Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker. So we'll see. I'm not a huge Joaquin Phoenix fan. I think he's had his moments. Walk the Line, I thought he was pretty good as Johnny Cash. But I have never really been a huge fan of his, so I'm interested to see how he does with the Joker, or maybe because his first name is Joaquin, maybe it's Joker. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's true.
How the pronunciation is bleeding across there.
See, if we had gone to TIFF this year, we would know that because
Right.
we would have gone to like a lot of.
We could have asked them
Yeah, totally. We
on the
could've.
red carpet.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next year. Next year we'll bring you these hard-hitting answers to questions, people.
And what you should do, people, cocoadults@gmail.com. Send us an email with the questions you want us to ask. People such as Joaquin Phoenix.
A year in advance, we know all the movies that are going to screen at TIFF. So get those questions in now.
Well, it could be just like, dear celebrity, what do you eat for breakfast? Or something like that. Something perhaps more interesting, but...
Like I said, hard-hitting questions.
Right. Well, these are the questions they ask on the red carpet, right? It's not like they're
Who
like,
are you wearing?
They're like, what did you think of the Democratic debate last night?
Do you think Julian Castro went after Joe Biden too hard?
Right. What do you think about the national debt? Should there be defense of the Arctic? Like, what? You know, you're not going to ask Brad Pitt that as you're walking down the carpet. So, do you want to talk about a movie that you want to go see in the fall?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Okay, what would it be, Coco?
So, speaking of there being reality-based movies, I would like to go see Official Secrets, which is out now. It stars Keira Knightley as a British person who got handed a memo based on a real story back during the run-up to the Iraq War in 2003, when the UN Security Council was not voting to authorize force in Iraq.
Hans Blix.
George Bush and...
That wasn't just a twitch. That was the guy's name at the UN.
I figured.
Okay.
George W. Bush enlisted British help in trying to find dirt on the UN Security Council members to use to blackmail them into voting to authorize force in Iraq.
Oh, yeah, democracy.
Keira Knightley finds this out. She leaks this memo to the press, and this movie is about that. And I would just like to say that at the time this all happened, I did not hear about this at all. This is kind of a big deal, as Joe Biden would say. We're bringing everything back to the Democratic debate last night. This is kind of a big deal. So
Yeah.
I can't believe it's taken like 16 years for this to come. I mean, if you were like a real politics watcher, you probably knew about this, but I think I heard an interview where they said this got reported on like page A15 of the New York Times when it happened. Yeah. And so I'm very interested in this. It's probably just going to depress me like the Joker, but I'm still interested.
It sounds like a very weighty topic. It sounds like a very I think worthwhile topic to dedicate to a movie. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the lesson here is, though, this is what happens when you don't have social media.
Right. Right. I mean, just a few years later, you have Ed Snowden and WikiLeaks and all that stuff.
Right. So 2003, people are not tweeting out,
right.
Oh, I saw somebody try to, blackmail me because I didn't want to invade another country.
That had nothing to do with...
Hashtag Iraq don't bomb me. Or something.
That's catchy.
This is catchy.
So that is the first movie that I am looking forward to this fall. It also stars, in addition to Keira Knightley, Matt Smith, known as one of the doctors on Doctor Who.
The skinny doctor.
Yeah, the skinny doctor who played Prince Philip for 2 seasons on The Crown, which I did not watch, but controversial statement. I do not believe that Matt Smith is handsome enough to play young Prince Philip.
Look at you body shaming.
I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying...
Face shaming.
I think young Prince Philip was pretty smoking hot.
Wait a minute. Did you say not handsome enough to portray a member of the royal family?
He married in. He's not a Windsor by birth.
Oh.
So he brought in some hot genes that were sorely needed. That kind of skipped the generation of children that he had.
Did they all cross over like some of the...
into the grandkids.
Some of the genes do there?
Well, I mean...
Like, does he go back and eventually the tree comes together again?
Probably. Because, I mean,
Family tree?
Queen Victoria had so many kids that married into every royal house in Europe that they're all related somehow.
So salvaging this part of the podcast, let's move to another
Okay,
movie that
what
I
else are
want to
you
go
interested
see.
in? Yeah.
I'm interested in going to see Ad Astra.
I concur.
Brad Pitt in outer space.
Good Missouri boy, Brad Pitt.
Yes, good Missouri boy. Looking for his lost dad, who is played by none other than Tommy Lee Jones. And you can see the resemblance there, can't you?
Oh, yeah. Like,
Oh yeah, who should play Brad Pitt's dad? I know, Tommy Lee Jones. He played Half-Face in whatever Batman movie that was.
he's made a career out of looking dour.
Right,
So
and
we're gonna
grizzled.
Right. So the guy who is described as a young Redford is totally his son.
Only in Hollywood.
Right.
And then maybe that's part of the movie. You go to the movie, and then he gets there and he goes, I am not your father.
Yeah, right? Like maybe that's the twist at the end. If
Right.
there is a twist. Like it turns out
M.
Tommy
Night
Lee is...
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Or Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan, thanks.
Slam-a-lam ding dong. We got to cut that part out.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So Brad Pitt's looking for his dad in space. And this is a futuristic thing, obviously, not taking place in current day.
What?
It's not like NASA is doing this kind of thing. And it's gotten good reviews. It got good reviews at TIFF. But I think the true test will be in the theater when you see it. And this seems like it's one of those movies that you've got to see in the theater with the special effects and the visuals
definitely.
and everything like that. I'm not sure that even the lounger, the Barca lounger in the house will be big enough to convey space.
At Shea Coco, the Barca Lounger.
Shea Coco.
I would actually go see that, although normally I am opposed to Lost in Space style movies because this is completely irrational, but that is one of my fears of being lost in space. Even though
I think it would be a lonely place.
I am never going to be an astronaut.
What?
I know, like...
Why limit your goals like that, Coco?
Well, the bare minimum reason I'm not going to be an astronaut is because I don't have 20/20 vision. That's one of many, many reasons I'm not going to be an astronaut. But it's just one of my irrational fears. Like, I can't watch Interstellar or any of those other movies.
Interstellar's a great movie.
It freaks me out. But I'd go see Ad Astra.
You would? Okay.
Not because Brad Pitt's hot.
Well, he's got to make up for, in my mind, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Which was our last podcast episode. So if you haven't heard it, download it immediately to hear our hot takes.
So I don't usually say this, but if you're one of the few people who haven't listened to that podcast, because that was a hugely popular podcast.
We're up to, what, 16 downloads?
116 downloads.
On that one?
I think so.
What?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no, 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, never mind. We'll cut that part out, too.
Okay.
Yeah, so space movies, I'm all in, and I think I like Brad Pitt. I think he's he gets a pass on a lot of stuff. I read a story touting this movie in the New York Times. The intention was he was touting the movie in the New York Times in an interview, and I think it was New York Times. It was a mainstream, reputable publication. I know that for sure. And he was talking about this, talking about that, and then he was talking about how he had to go on the wagon for a long time because he was drunk when he got in that fight with Angelina in the plane and everything like that. And you don't hear a lot about that. Like, that was a bad moment for anybody.
Well, if you don't pay attention to celebrity gossip, you don't hear a lot about it. But their divorce has been dragging on for a long time, and he and his team are attempting image rehab for him. So,
well,
but in the Times doesn't pay attention to that, right?
Yeah, and neither do I.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of thinking he got a bit of a pass on that, and I know there's the white man, good-looking person theory,
and especially when Angelina was vilified for stealing him from Jennifer Aniston. So,
oh, really?
Her perception in the public is already a villainous, and then now they get divorced, and so people are going to be naturally inclined to
and I think
blame the woman.
Angelina. Maybe, but Angelina, I think, suffers from association with her relationship with Billy Bob, which was very public and very twisted. Yeah. And so I think, and Brad Pitt's relationship with Jennifer Aniston was not that. They weren't getting tattoos of each other's faces
and wearing vials of their blood.
Right. It wasn't like vampire stuff. And Billy Bob is a fantastic actor, but I think he's got some
issues,
off-ice issues, to use a hockey term.
Because we do have hockey in our tagline, so we need to talk about hockey.
I got to throw it in there every now and then just to justify the awesome graphic that Coco made for that podcast. But definitely looking forward to this movie. Okay, your turn, Coco. What are you looking forward to seeing?
Okay, well, I got a twofer here for you.
What?
Yeah. So speaking of movies that you have to see on the big screen to get the full effect of
Yeah,
the special
yeah.
effects, I'm looking forward to in November, Terminator Dark Fate, and also in December, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of
95.
the Rise of Skywalker, which I'm actually not looking forward to the Rise of Skywalker.
So does that mean Owen McGregor's in this one?
Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor's in this one?
No, because he's
Obi-Wan,
dead
right?
at this point. Yeah.
Oh,
He's,
okay.
and
Who played
he's
the young
young
Skywalker?
He's young Obi-Wan, anyways. Young Skywalker
Yeah.
was Hayden Christensen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he was Anakin though. Anyways, we got a lot to cut in this episode. We're just rambling incoherently, but
I'm throwing you off is what it is.
I'm not really looking forward to it, but I know I need to see it on the big screen, and it's like, fine, this is over. Finally, just take my money, Disney, and just get this thing over with. Because The Last Jedi was trash, and I liked The Force Awakens. I know you did not. We've talked about that before, but just get this trilogy over with, get it done. The end. Terminator Dark Fate. I am really looking forward to that. I love Terminator 2. I mentioned adults earlier that Linda Hamilton's arms in T2 are like my goals. I want those arms so
Those are
bad.
my goals, never mind your goals.
And that's a really good franchise. If you discount all the movies that have come since T2, which James Cameron
Wait a minute, you can't do that.
Well, he's kind of disavowing them because they weren't made with his participation or her participation, Linda Hamilton. They're allegedly occurring in alternate timelines because there's a lot of time travel going on here.
Do people really do that? Like, it's like, oh, it's Terminator 3, but it's not James Cameron, so therefore it's not part of the entire oeuvre. Like, do they disassociate? Then in that case, the current Disney movies are made by a different company. Disney Star Wars movies are different from the Lucasfilm movies back in the day. So are they the same? Well, yeah, they're the same characters and everything like that.
Well, they're still under the Lucasfilm banner, though.
Yeah,
Even though
but
they're owned by Disney now. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But anyway, so in Terminator Dark Fate, Linda Hamilton is back as Sarah Connor. Apparently, Eddie Furlong returns as John Connor. Arnie is back as a Terminator.
so I'll be back.
Yeah, although she gets to say it in this one.
She does.
Yeah, she gets to say it, but she doesn't say it like, I'll be back. She's
I'll
like,
be back.
I'll be back. You know, like jumps off a bridge or whatever.
She'll be like,
So,
I'll be totally back.
yeah, girl. I'm from the valley. I'll be back.
I'll be totally back. Look at these guns. I'll be back.
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that as a big fan of the first two Terminator movies.
Okay.
So,
And
and you're like, no, I will absolutely not go see either one of those
so
movies.
that's those fall into the same category as
Joker for me.
Joker for you. For me, is it? I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And they will be good to see in the theater.
Yeah, totally.
But I haven't gotten anything out of those Star Wars movies. I mean,
Yeah.
the Han Solo movie, I didn't get anything out of. I mean, it was fine. I think at the time, we sort of liked it, but it hasn't stuck with me at all. And
Yeah.
actually, the annoyances have stuck with me more than the positives.
And that kid hasn't done anything since that
Right.
movie either. So his career is destroyed.
Well, how are you gonna?
I shouldn't call him a kid. He's probably 30. But,
How are you gonna recover from publicly being called out that you need acting lessons?
right.
So
true.
you know you're a welder, and then your boss announces to everybody, "Well, we got to teach him how to weld. So the next job, you're not going to get that next welding job.
Right, totally.
Who's going to hire you?"
You're going to be like an extra in the cantina.
Right? Yeah, you're in the background. Yeah.
Playing hologram chess with like the aliens.
And you got so much makeup on and prosthetics that nobody recognizes you.
Right, totally. You did not make the main stage for the Democratic debate. Like, you didn't get enough donors.
So at Lollapalooza, you're at the like festival stage over at the side, right?
Right, totally. You're by the porta potties.
Right. And there's 4 people there because they can't get into the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
Which I know you love the Chili Peppers.
Oh, I love the Chili Peppers. So a movie that I would like to see,
Yes.
that I'm anticipating, another one, The Marriage.
Marriage Story?
Is it Marriage Story?
I believe it's Marriage Story.
Okay, The Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver as a couple parting ways.
Speaking of Star Wars, Adam Driver, Kylo Ren.
So it all pulls together here. This podcast is like threaded.
We totally did that on purpose.
We engineered this. Meanwhile, the people behind the glass are shaking their heads. They can't believe that we get paid to do this. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been portrayed and described as a modern day Kramer versus Kramer, only with less vitriol, about a couple that just is, they can feel themselves parting. They can feel themselves falling out of love, and it sounds like it's painful, and it sounds like it's hard to watch. And from what I understand, the reviews have been really good coming out of TIFF. So I'm anticipating that one very, very much.
I would like to see that as well. I think it could very much be a difficult watch.
Yes.
I did read that like Noah Baumbach kind of loosely based it, well, maybe more than loosely based it, on his divorce from Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yep.
So I wonder how she feels
Right.
about this, because obviously you're allegedly left to feel more sympathetic with Adam Driver than with ScarJo.
Oh, is that the way it goes? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Are you assuming, or you've read that?
I've read that.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, and it's his story too, so he's going to probably
Yeah. And
portray
then-
himself as coming off better for sure.
and she might make her own divorce story in a few years, and yeah, so I'd watch that.
Movies? Do you want to go again for another movie you want to see, or are you out?
Yeah, I'll do at least a couple more.
Okay, you go.
Okay, so I would also, this is another one that you're gonna maybe go see just because I'm going, but Harriett, about Harriet Tubman. You're shaking your head like, yeah, I'll only go see it. 'Cause
I remember the previews for that one.
Yeah, that
The trailer.
I think it looks fantastic, and I'm very surprised that, like, after I saw the first trailer, I just like went to Wikipedia, which I know is the world's most accurate source
Yes.
on these things, and just read a little bit about her because we studied her in school when I was in school, but not a lot. And I was like, holy crap, this lady is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, she snuck over the border into the South so many times to rescue so many people. Like, oh my God, she, wow, deserves.
Talk about a superhero.
Yeah.
This is a superhero movie.
Yeah, she deserves so much recognition. And at least when I went to school, it was just like, yeah, Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad, and just kind of breezed on by. So
And isn't she also the person that they were trying to get on one of the dollar bills?
yeah, she was going to be on the $20 bill to replace noted racist and genocidal homicidal maniac Andrew Jackson.
Oh,
But
okay.
now those plans are on hold for a while. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to Harriet. Also looking forward to The King.
Oh, yes.
Starring Timothée Chalamet.
You've been practicing that name all day.
I have. I'm like the Rain Man. I'm just sitting here like Timothée Chalamet. So it's
Which to me looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
yeah.
The trailer looks like it's just with the bowl cut on Timothy. And there's a couple of lines where he utters something very, very earnestly into the camera. And I was like, come on. What? I don't believe this at all. So, yeah, I'll go with you because, you know, I just I trail around behind you, hoping that maybe you'll look at me.
Picking the popcorn off my lap.
Right, yes.
It also has Joel Edgerton as Falstaff, which I love Joel Edgerton. I think he's great in everything. And this is the trivia I was telling you that I was going to tell you on the podcast. Timothée Chalamet, real life dating his co-star, Lily Rose Depp, from
No way.
Yoga Hosers. The Yoga Hosers chick, Lily Rose Depp, is
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Johnny Depp's daughter, Vanessa Paradis' daughter, dating Timothée Chalamet.
This is blowing my mind. And if you haven't heard our Yoga Hosers podcast, now's a good time to bookmark that one. Save it for later. When you're on the plane going somewhere, listen to that one because that's one of our better ones.
Definitely.
We actually watched Yoga Hosers because it couldn't be a better movie for both of us. You being in the fitness industry and me being a hoser.
Yeah. And then, well, listen to the podcast and
Yes.
you'll hear our review.
Right.
So what about you? Anything else to?
So how about some movies that I don't want to go see?
Oh, okay, sure.
So for the umpteenth time, we're looking at Sylvester Stallone making a sequel. And of course, it's Rambo Last Blood. And I wonder how long they sat around in the studio trying to think of a name for that sequel. First Blood, Rambo First Blood. What are we going to call this one? It's the last one we're going to do. Should we call it Final Blood? So I'm not looking forward to that. I don't think I'll be seeing that. I was never a Rambo fan to begin with. And I can't imagine 69-year-old Rambo, or however old Sylvester Stallone is, fighting. Now, apparently he's taking on the Mexican cartel. So he's fighting the powers of evil again, who's involved with the kidnapping of a friend's daughter. So you know how like these guys always get involved in this stuff that everyday people never get involved with.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, I was watching Liam Neeson in one of the Taken movies with my mother recently.
Your mom was watching one of the Taken movies?
Don't. She's into those movies, right? She's all into those kind of movies.
Wow.
So I was watching this, and then, of course, there's a number of sequels after these Taken movies. And it's kind of like that. I can't believe this is happening to me again. So definitely not looking forward to the Rambo movie. One of the other movies that I would not really want to go see, but we need to talk about it. Les Miserables. There's another Les Miserables coming out.
Well, apparently it's not the actual Victor Hugo novel. Apparently it just has the same name.
Oh, okay.
Well, then never mind.
Never mind. I don't want to see that one anyway. I'm just going to be spiteful about it.
It's got a terrible name. So speaking of movies that we don't want to go see,
yes,
not even Idris Elba can entice me to go see Cats.
That's the next one I was going to. Thank you.
I have no desire. Like I said, not even Idris Elba. It's got Taylor Swift. It's got Jennifer Hudson. No thanks. I've heard Memory a million times. I'm good.
I didn't go see the play, so I'm not going to go see the movie of the play. I guess it's a musical, not a play.
Yeah, I did go see the musical. I'm fine with having seen it, and I'm good. I don't need to see it again. Also, yet another Charlie's Angels reboot.
Yes, thank you.
Especially starring Kristen Stewart. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, we don't need any more Charlie's Angels movies.
Right.
And I don't know if I want to go see Last Christmas either.
I'd probably watch it on Netflix.
So a couple other movies that we skipped through that maybe I should go back to. Ford versus Ferrari.
I'd go see that one.
Matt Damon and Christian Bale. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm a car guy. I also like Christian Bale quite a bit.
Yeah.
As an actor. I would go see that. It got mediocre reviews coming out of TIFF.
I'll go see it with you.
But it seems like a good combination. Another movie that's coming out that we should talk about.
The Irishman, starring De Niro, Pacino, Scorsese's at the helm, I believe, or he's like a producer.
Yeah.
Based on somebody who claims that he's the person who killed Jimmy Hoffa. It's like 3 hours long.
It's massive.
It's
a Netflix movie.
It's also coming to Netflix, so that might definitely be one that we just wait for on Netflix so that I can pause it and go to the bathroom in the middle, because I don't know if I can see that in the
so we
theater,
can take an intermission, like when I went to see Gone with the Wind, which I didn't realize was 4 hours long. I'm the only person in the history of cinema who didn't know Gone with the Wind was 4 hours long.
I'm also interested in 21 Bridges, starring Chadwick Boseman, also known as Black Panther. He also played Jackie Robinson in that biopic. I believe he also played Thurgood Marshall in another biopic. Really good actor. It sounds like there's a lot of other good people in there too. Oscar winner J.K. Simmons. It's produced by the Russo brothers, who are also involved in superhero Marvel movies. So it sounds like it's kind of a pretty straightforward, like, cop movie, but with like some deeper social meaning. So I'm interested in that.
Okay, let me mention a movie title and you tell me if you want to go see it or not.
Okay.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
I'd go see it if you go see it.
So that's you saying you hate it, in other words.
I was never...
Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, awesome. Mr. Rogers, I was never the world's biggest fan of, but sure, I'd go see it if you go see it.
Okay, another one? Frozen 2.
No. I've never seen Frozen 1.
Why are they making Frozen 2? So that one falls into the category of sequels that nobody asked for,
right?
Other than greedy studios. So
because Disney doesn't have enough money,
right? Let's make some more money. Let's make another stinking sequel about the same thing. So apparently, Elsa has a girlfriend in it. There's a lot of social messaging going on there. I saw the first one with my daughters. I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. It was different. It was empowering for women/girls. There was a lot of it was good. I liked it. There was some funny characters in it. The guy was dopey, which is usually the case for some reason. Guys are dopey in these movies. I don't know why that happens to be. Why can't we all just be strong? Why does it have to be a zero-sum game? But anyway,
I don't know.
So I like that. But where are they going to go from here? Like Frozen 2, the horror. Frozen 2, trip to the Arctic. Frozen 2, tropical thunder. What is it going to be? So I don't know how they're going to extend that. So I don't really care. And my girls have aged out of that movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be going to see that. Maybe we will because it would be old time sake kind of thing, nostalgia. But
When it comes to Disney Plus, we might end up watching it on that.
if we get Disney Plus.
We're getting Disney Plus.
Why are we getting Disney Plus?
Because I'm going to pay for it and you're just going to sit there.
Suck it up.
You're just going to sit there and look pretty.
But what could possibly be? Oh, all the Marvel movies are going to be on
All the
there.
Marvel movies are going to be on there. The new Loki series is going to be on there. Like, we're just going to get, it's like $60 for a year. It's cheaper than Netflix.
Any other movies you're interested in going to see?
A few others, but none I really feel like mentioning.
Okay, I'm going to mention one more title to you and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Jumanji, The Next Level.
I like The Rock, but no.
Not only The Rock, but Danny DeVito, Kevin Hart,
No.
and Jack Black. Jack
No.
Black was in one of the earlier ones, I think.
Was he?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
one of the rebooty ones. So, and probably a lot of CGI, I'm imagining.
Yeah, probably.
So that's another movie that's coming out that, hey, come on down to your theater.
No, thanks. Hey, the kids are out of school. Got to figure out something to do with them.
Let's do something with them. Stick them somewhere for a couple of hours before we go insane
Right.
because we're using television as a babysitter.
Well,
So,
childcare is expensive. So what you gonna do?
well, that's true. That's true. Good is like with anything good, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. Just like our love.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's a perfect place to end this podcast with our love.
Our podcast is not expensive though. It's free on iTunes and Spotify and where else?
YouTube. This new thing called YouTube.
When we figure out how to get the video from
No, the audio goes onto the
Oh,
YouTube.
okay. Okay, that's cool. You can, if there's anything you'd like to hear us talk about in the future, you can email us, like Daltz said, at cocoanddaltz@gmail.com.
And that's an and as in the word, not an ampersand.
Yes, and you can also hit us up on our Facebook page.
Right.
Just search for Coco and Daltz.
And yes. So for another week, oh, the music's playing us out, so I got to go.
Coco's got to leave for a chiropractor, so time to wrap this thing up.
She's getting tired of carrying me on her back. So for another episode of the podcast, thanks for joining us for another week. I'm not Coco.
And I'm not Daltz.